Hello people, this is Iron Man Fan 147 showing you part 2 on how to make an enemy in Blender. Okay, so go into side view. Now that you have your two cubes, move this one kind of to the middle where the cursor is. Hit 5. 5 is kind of a cool key. I like 5. You can hit it, I don't know, it does that. Makes it like a 2D, 3D to a 3D. So you can cycle around 3D, but you can cycle. It's just cool. Anyway, so hit 5 so it looks like this and not like that. Make it look like that. Alright, now you're going to hit Shift D and click and drag. This is on your player, by the way, and size it down about like that. Kind of move it up here so it's like that. And hit delete all the stuff that you see. I mean, the dynamic actor bounds, delete all that stuff, and the keyboard, sensor, controllers, and actuators. You want to delete all of that. Okay, and you're gonna right click on that if you didn't already, which you had to have. But then you right click on your player and you hit Control P. That's Control P, and you say OK, make parent. So now I can go back into that. So now I can move this around separately, but if I move this, it moves this one with it. That's just a little tip for beginners, in case you didn't know that. Alright, so now you're going to go into front view, and you should be in the back of it, just by the way you set it up. If you set it up the same way, hit space, add, and a camera. Now move that up one, like in the middle there. Move it out and then up and then out, so it should look like oh shoot, yeah, it should look like this, just like that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your camera, right click the camera and right click your cube and hit Control P. And now when you hit P to play, you don't have that, oh, you don't have a camera thing anymore. So now you have this, and you can just run around, as you can see. You go frontwards, backwards, and it looks like I'm going really fast for some reason. Maybe because I am. And the cool thing about this is like a drift type thing. It's kind of funny. So yeah, I'm going really fast against the walls. Anyways, so there you go. Now you're gonna get out of that. If it works, you did it right. If it doesn't work exactly, you need to go back in the tutorial and look at if you missed something or not. But select your smaller cube. That's what... There is this thing, it's called an empty, but I do not like to use those because those seem like way much more work. Alright, actually, select the small one, like you did, and hit Actor and Ghost. Alright, what Ghost does is it means things can pass through it and it won't move it or anything. Add a sensor, a controller, and an actuator, okay? Now you're going to connect them all. And you're going to change the always on the sensor to keyboard and make it the space bar. So when you press the space bar over here on actuators, you're going to change motion to edit object and add object. And now I'm going to go to layer 2 and I'm going to add a ecosphere. I don't like UV spheres because they have... Alright, look at the difference. I mean, if you were going to make a really big game, which one would you rather have? Like 5 vertice or like 1,000 vertice? I use the ecosphere. That's what this is called. And then size it down. Change it to a color, I guess, any color. I like blue because that's the color of my player. So, and then you're going to hit the editing tab, or F9, whatever. And right below the animation frame rate bar thing, the frames, the 1, 2, 3, 4, where my mouse is, you look down here, it says, okay, that's just something I'm downloading. That's my first one. Anyways, right here you'll see the OB thing. That's the one you want to change. That's stands for object, and you want to change that to anything. In other tutorials you may see they say bullet or missile or whatever. I prefer high. I mean, seriously, high is so much better. You can remember high a lot better. That way you don't have to keep on going back to it or not. You see what I'm saying? Good. And then add an actor for that, a dynamic and rigid body. What that's going to do is it's going to make it be able to bounce off stuff and make it go straight and not just fall down out of your cannon thing. Hit bounds. You should see this thing pop up. Maybe not, depending on whatever you're using. And hit add property, float, string. Okay. Now you're going to go back to the first layer and select your small cube, and what did you name it? High. So now I don't have to remember how to go back to it if I forgot, and name it high. So now let's see if it works. It should be adding it into the scene. As I can see, when I press space, it's adding them, which is a good thing. Now we're going to make it have some force. So down here, if you have the smaller one selected, you're going to go with line V, that thing down there. You're going to select L, by the way. Select L. You're always going to select L. That just means if you turn, it's going to follow it. Alright, select one of these, move it up, just to test. I'm at 24 something. And yeah, it looks like it's going the right way. So move the middle one on line B all the way to 100. Now, go into your camera and press P. Now whenever you hit space, it should just be firing. It's firing really good. I'm surprised this is working this time, because all the other times I made something like this, like with gun games and stuff, I think the cube actually works better with an besides an empty, because it seems to fire straighter. Like it would go off center, like it might be going off to here sometimes as I turn my cube, and then it would go back to the center. It was really weird. I mean, it didn't like keep on going in this direction. It just turned really slightly. It was weird. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into your camera mode, and you're gonna hit add space, add mesh plane, and go into object mode and move it up. You should see it come through your cube, unless if you moved your cursor somewhere while you're following this. Make it really small. See that little dot? Move it over to the camera like that. Make and then just size it down a little bit more, and size it on the line on the Z axis, which is the up and down. Shift D and click, and then hit R to rotate it. Hold Shift or hold Control down so it makes it straight instead of just going like this. You can hit Control and it makes it completely straight. Select one and select the other one and hit Control J. That joins the meshes, so it's one mesh. Alright, now you're gonna hit OK, join selected meshes. And then let's see, it's pretty close. So right click that, and then right click your camera and parent it to it. So now I can move this around, but when I move the camera around, it follows with it. Now when I move the cube, everything follows, because everything's going to the cube. The cube is what moves. Alright, I'm starting to kind of run low on time, I believe, and size this down just a little bit. Move it down. Now let's see. Just make sure it's right where the bolts are going. Now you're gonna add a color. Add it. I guess you could add it blue too, because I like the blues. And make this shadeless, so that way it stays the same color all the time and it doesn't fade or anything. Okay. This is going good for me. Save. Always save. Don't forget to save. And now I shall give you the second part in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.